So now we're ready to do this on paper. So I want to remind you that going across is how long it is, and then up and down is how wide it is. So this says long and wide, okay? Now, one more thing. I can't do 3 times 2 and just add the half, because that's not multiplied, is it? So I'm going to have to do 3 times 2 and 3 times a half. So we are going to practice solving it visually and then solving it numerically. So I want everyone to write the problem down for me before we get started. And put it where I did, because you'll have plenty of room to work if you do it there. Okay, now basically this means that this is a half, that's a half, and that one's a half. And then these are all what? 1. And I know they wrote little notes on there for you, but I kind of like to have it all on there to make it faster and easier to count up. But this isn't the real world, is it? No, the real world is over here. We're going to triple that cookie recipe, okay? That calls for 2½ cups of flour. We got to triple it. So you can do it in your head easier when it's drawn, can't you? So I've got 6. What's a half plus a half? 1. So that gives me 7 and a half, okay? Now, what does that look like numerically? We're going to make 2 improper fractions. If I write it, you write it. So get busy writing it. So how do I turn a 3 into a fraction, Kinsey?
Oh, you add a 1 under it.
Put a 1 under it. Okay? And Nancy, how do I turn 2½ into an improper fraction?
Do multiply 2 times 2 plus 1.
Okay, so that gives me 5 halves. And we think we're going to get 7½ when we're done. Okay, so 3 times 5, class? 15. And 1 times 2? 2. So 15 halves. Or 15 divided by 2. Is that 7½ ?
Yeah.
It is. The 7 plus 7 is 14, and a half plus a half makes a whole. Okay? So this would be, and we're not going to worry about the long division right now, 7½ . Okay? Let's go down and do the next one. It's kind of fun. So this one, they didn't fill in how long and how wide it is. We've got to figure that out. Okay? Remember, long is going across and wide is going down. So I'm going to pull a stick and you help me put these in here. Diana, what would I put in this first one? 2 1/4. Okay? And what will I put, Zoe, what will I put in the second one? 4. Okay? So now all of these are 1. And how much is each little tiny one? No? What's it say? 4th. So basically we've got 4 copies of 2 and 4 copies of 1/4. And at the bottom they counted it up for us. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So what would the total of this be? 9. And you're going to love the problem. So let's write the problem down because it's so easy to do using mental math. This time we're making 4 recipes of cookies. That's a lot of cookies. So, Tony, how do I change 2 1/4 to an improper fraction?
2 times 4 plus 1, so
9/4. And Javier, how do I change the whole number 4 to a fraction?
Put it over 1.
Put it over 1. Now, this is pretty fun. You want to watch? Okay, I can do 9 times 4, which is 36, and 4 times 1. But wait, these 4's cancel each other out. I could do 4 divided by 4 and get 1. Remember that? 4 divided by 4 and get 1. So that gives me 9 over 1.
9.
So what's my answer? 9. All right, rectangle C says to draw it, but we're not. We're just going to solve it. Okay, so 3/4 times 4. Julian, I need to turn that 4 into a fraction. 4 over 1. Now, this is not very straight, is it? Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
So 3 times 4. Oh, can we cross it out again?
Yeah.
Okay, so 4 divided by 4 is 1. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 3 times 1, 1 times 1. So I've got 3 over 1. What's my answer?
3.
Oh, that was fun, wasn't it? Now, what if I would have multiplied it, though?
3.
I would have got 12 fourths.
Which is just 3.
Is that the same thing as 3?
Yeah, it's just
12 divided by 4 equals 3. Okay? All right, let's turn it over to the back of the homework. There's one more. I want you to try this one on your own. I'm going to pause it. Well, don't do it yet. So you're going to do this problem all by yourself and see if you can do it. I'm going to pause it. Okay, so I'm going to need you to help me with this. So, Angel, how do I turn 2 into a fraction? Just put a 1 under it. Very good. And Isai, 1 3/4 into an improper fraction.
7 fourths.
7 fourths. Okay, I see something I could cross off here before I start. But let's see what happens when we do it just the normal way. Okay? So boys and girls, 2 times 7 and 1 times 4. Okay, so that would have been 14 fourths. Let's see what would happen if I would cross off. So I could divide both of these by 2. 2 divided by 2 is?
1.
4 divided by 2 is?
2.
So now I've got 7 halves. So I need to turn that into a mixed number. Do you see where I got 7? 1 times 7 equals 7. 1 times 2 equals 2. So the other choice was 14 fourths. Which one's easier to work with?
7 halves.
7 halves. The smaller the number, the easier it is to work with. How many times does 2 go into 7?
3.
3 times. How many left over?
1.
1. So it'll be 3 and 1 half. Life is good when you know how to multiply and divide. Okay, that's where we're going to stop. If we have time later, I do want to go back and have you do this number 2 with your table group because it's a pretty good problem. But I'm going to stop the video and get over to the exit ticket. I have to go backwards, but I think you're going forwards, aren't you?
And it says Emma.
Okay, Emma tiled a rectangle and then sketched her work. Fill in the missing information and multiply to find the area. Okay, here's what I want to do. You tell me if this is what you want to do. Okay, now we already know how long it is. How long is it? 2.5. How wide is it?
2.
And then you've got to figure out the answer. Now I'm telling you right now, this is only worth 3 points. If you want to solve it numerically, you can, but you don't have to. You can just look at it and tell me the answer. But if you miss one, it's a 60%.
Oh.
So be careful, okay? Maybe you do want to solve it numerically so you can make sure you're right. Okay, bring it to me when you're finished, and then you're getting on M36. Got it?
Mm-hmm.